YesStyle sent me some makeup products and today we're going to test them out and actually create a makeup look. If it's your first time being here, hi, my name is Tirza. If you're someone that loves beauty content such as makeup reviews or even just makeup tutorials including fashion hauls and vlogs, then you came to the right place. With that being said, let's jump on into the products. Alright, so the first product I want to talk about is the Tone Skin Layer Foundation. I'm going to skip a full unboxing here and just show you the product, but I do want to say the packaging is really sleek and minimal. It feels very clean and very on brand for Korean makeup. The shade I have is Cool Beige, and I do want to be honest, YesStyle foundations tend to run on the lighter side, since a lot of Korean based products are made with lighter skin tones in mind, so this shade may not be a perfect match for me, but we're still going to try and make it work. When I swatched it on my arm, you can definitely see how light it is compared to my skin tone, but what really stood out to me is how lightweight the formula feels. It doesn't feel heavy or thick at all. It almost feels like nothing on the skin, which I really love. Next up, we have the Milk Touch Tone On Shadow Palette in the shade 03, My Favorite Autumn. Sorry if the palette looks a little messy, I accidentally dropped it. Once you open the palette, you get a really beautiful mix of warm browns and neutral tones along with some soft shimmer shades. And I just have to point this out. One of the shades has this tiny acorn imprint, which is such a cute detail and fits the autumn theme perfectly. When I swatch these shades, they apply really smoothly and feel very wearable. This palette is perfect if you love a natural everyday eye look, but it's also amazing for fall makeup or soft neutral glam. The next product is the Unleashia Glitterpedia palette, and this is the all glitter version. I do want to mention I've actually owned this palette before, but I definitely needed a new one. I feel like YesStyle looked at my old palette and said, yeah, it's time for an upgrade. This palette includes 9 wearable shades with glitter, shimmer, and matte finishes. The glitter particles are multi-dimensional with different sizes that give you this really pretty 3-dimensional shine, and they're long-lasting too. One thing I noticed right away is that the packaging has changed. The newer palette has this clean white logo, whereas my older one had a more clear logo. My older palette also feels a bit heavier and thicker, which makes me wonder if they may have updated the formula. When I swatched the new palette, these shades feel noticeably softer compared to my older one. I can honestly say this palette is still amazing, and if you love glitter, this one is definitely worth it. The last product I want to talk about is a TIRTIR Waterism Glow Tint in the shade 06 Honey Nut. The packaging is so beautiful and feels really fancy. I love when a product looks just as good as it performs. This shade is a really gorgeous brown, perfect for everyday wear. It feels incredibly smooth when I swatch it, and it's supposed to be hydrating and non-sticky. So we'll see how it wears once it's actually on the lid. Now onto the makeup look. I already applied concealer. I know it looks really off and crazy right now, but let's just ignore that, trust the process. I'm gonna go ahead and use the foundation, and this is in the shade Cool Beige. However, I do know it is extremely light for my skin tone, but that's okay. I want to apply it first, maybe just a little bit, that way we could test out the texture, see how it feels, and then after that I'm just going to mix it up with a different foundation. Alright, so this is actually a foundation that has a pump, which I love as compared to other liquid foundations that I've tried, because there's others where it doesn't have a pump and it just comes in like this, and that's it. I don't like those kind of foundations only because I feel like I will accidentally overdo it whenever I'm trying to get foundation out, so sometimes it is way too much. I'm going to go ahead and just apply a little bit onto the back of my hand right now. That way I could apply it onto my face, and as you can see, it is really, really light. I'm going to go ahead and use a beauty blender and just go in and put it on my face. I'm going to go ahead and use it on this side. Like, look how light that is. It is way too much for me. But after applying, I can say that it is extremely lightweight. So I love that. It doesn't feel heavy or anything like that. It's just the shade is way too light. As you can see, I'm just like, whoa, girl, what are you doing? So I think what I'm going to do is just mix my other foundation with this one, and hopefully we get good results. Crossing fingers. I'm going to be mixing the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and this is in the shade 310, which is called Sun Beige. So let's go ahead and mix this up. Of course, I'm going to pour it onto the back of my hand. And this is where I was telling you guys that I don't really like this whole thing where it doesn't have a pump, because I pour way too much by accident. Oh gosh. And that is what I mean. What a fail. I'm going to be applying some of this foundation too. Honestly, I have never done this before, so I don't know what I am doing. I'm just trying to test this out, and let's just hope it comes out good. Let's go ahead and just apply the rest that I have right now, and I got it on my hair. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this isn't really too bad. It's actually blending out very well, and it's lightweight, so I'm really surprised about that, especially considering how I mix in 2 different foundations to make it match my skin. It's still a little too light, so I might have to include the Maybelline Fit Me foundation a little bit more. That way it can be a little darker because it's too light. I mean, I can tell the difference between like my neck and my face, but I mean, it looks really good. It's actually coming out real smooth, so I'm impressed. I honestly wish YesStyle had different kinds of shade ranges when it comes to foundation. However, I completely understand because in Korea, a lot of the skin tones are a lot lighter. So that's why it's expected for them to have liquid foundations that are a lot lighter. But yeah, I just wish that they could have different ranges, hopefully one day, only because like I really do like this foundation. It's incredibly lightweight. Like, I absolutely adore it. So I wish we can have something like this. Okay, so this is the final result of the liquid foundation on my skin. I was able to mix up the 2 different foundations, and I was able to get it to match up my skin tone a little bit. I mean, of course, it's a little bit lighter. I just need to keep experimenting to make the foundation match my skin tone. However, it came out a lot better than I thought it would, so it's still pretty good. And I also feel like it is extremely lightweight, so I love that. The texture is amazing. It's not too heavy, and I'm really surprised about that. Even though, considering I mixed in the foundations, I still feel like it's lightweight, and I think that just literally shocked me because I was expecting it to be a lot more heavier, but it's actually really decent, and my skin, it looks super smooth, and I absolutely love that. Alright, now time to test out this eyeshadow palette. So once again, this is the Milk Touch Tone on Shadow Palette, and this is in the shade My Favorite Autumn. I actually love the browns because I usually typically go for the neutral, natural kind of looks. So let's see what we could come up with. Of course, I think I'm going to go ahead and start with this little shade right here. Oh, wow. Okay. So that shadow is very, very pigmented. Alright, so starting off, I am using the shade Sweet Pecan. And real quick, is it pecan or pecan? Anyways, I am applying this shade all over my eyelid and using it as a base to help everything blend together. Next, I'm using the shade Acorn Flirting. Wait, acorns flirt now? Just kidding. I'm adding this shade into the crease of my eyelid to build some soft dimension. Now I'm going in with the shade Nutsholic, which is a deeper brown. I'm applying it almost in a V shape on the outer corner of my eyelid and blending it out so it looks seamless. Next up is Milky Almond, and for real, how do you even get milk from an almond? I'm taking this shade and applying it on my lid to give it that beautiful shimmer. I like to use my fingers because it really packs on the color. After that, I'm using my favorite brown liner to create a small thin wing. Nothing too dramatic, just subtle. Now I'm working on the Agasol look by adding Nutsholic under the eye again and then using Milky Almond to highlight the area and make it pop. Next, I'm using the Unleashia palette, taking 3 shades, Simple, Refine, and Occult. I'm applying these on the inner corner and along the lower lash line for that extra sparkle. Then I'm applying my favorite mascara, adding some lashes, and finishing the face with blush. To finish the look, I'm using the TIRTIR Waterism Glow Tint. It's such a smooth, hydrating lip tint. I'm honestly super impressed with it. And here is the final look. Alright, so we are done with the makeup look. Now it's time to give my review with the makeup products. So first and foremost, let's discuss the liquid foundation. So far, I want to give this a 10 out of 10. I know you guys are probably like, are you crazy? Because it was a lot lighter. But yes, despite the wrong shade match, it was definitely a 10 out of 10. The reason why I say this is because it is smooth and incredibly lightweight. That's because I mixed it with my regular foundation and put this together, and it still did very well. It made my skin look very smooth. I absolutely loved it. And what also impressed me was the fact that my skin hasn't even gotten oily. Very impressive, 10 out of 10. I just wish that they had more shade ranges. Now, this lip tint, definitely a 10 out of 10, honestly. because it was just so smooth. It is not sticky whatsoever. It's also incredibly glossy and very hydrating. Next one, 10 out of 10. I love them all. Like, they were very pigmented, very vibrant. I didn't have any issues with them. And shadows applied on my eyes very easily. The formula was just so smooth. It wasn't rough or anything. I don't know if you guys could see, but the little acorn there, it's so adorable. It's the perfect palette when you want those neutral, natural shades. This is perfect, especially for fall. This is definitely the best soft color shade range. I highly recommend it. This eyeshadow palette is so obviously 10 out of 10. You could definitely tell the difference. This one is a lot more heavier than this one. Also the sizing, it's a lot more thicker than this one. Another thing is it is so smooth. I think these products were amazing overall. I literally have no complaints. There was some fallout, but I expected that. I think it's just really good. It's amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I am a YesStyle influencer. That's the whole reason why I'm a YesStyle influencer in the first place, because I love their products. For the most part, a lot of the products I purchase from YesStyle are definitely recommended. You can also find all of these products down in the description box below. Don't forget to use my rewards code whenever you shop with YesStyle to save you some money on your purchase. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you all enjoyed.